Thanks for coming out. How exciting to get ready to buy a home. You know, your home is one of your largest investments that you'll ever make in your lifetime. And you know how important it is? Your home is where your heart is. Think about that. Your family and your money, it's where your heart is. It's very important. Thank you, Pastor Nick. I'm going to continue on the credit that Jay and Pastor Nick were talking about how important it is. It's important to start that process, like Jay said, at least 6 months before you decide to buy a home. So start now, about 3-4 months into next year, you'll be ready to start the process. They're going to look at your credit. They're going to do ratios. They're going to take your gross income, and they're going to divide that by the debt that you have. Currently, FHA ratios on that, it can't be over 31%. Isn't that interesting? But then they're going to you add that house payment, which includes your taxes and your insurance for the year. They're going to divide that by your gross income. Now that's gross, that's not net. So remember, they're taking out taxes, they're taking out Social Security, your insurance, and all those things. So this is off your gross income, not your net, not what you're bringing home. That's why you need wisdom. So that ratio is currently at 43%. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But then you have the unexpected, which is why we want you to have that wisdom. What happens if the car needs new tires? Hope you have that emergency fund. It's one of the reasons Pastor teaches us to have 6 months, at least, minimum, emergency fund set up, because you can't predict the future. So, once you've gotten your credit right, you've gotten your realtor, or you've decided to work with a mortgage broker. So you're going to start your mortgage and your application process. That's when they're going to start looking at your income. They're going to order your credit report. They're going to start evaluating you. Sometimes they'll give you guidance into getting things in order so that once you reach that process of signing a real estate contract and submitting that file for underwriting approval, you're ready to go. On your loan application, please be honest. Pastor Nick says, no matter what, it's gonna come up. Can't tell you how many times it happens. And then somebody's upset because we found a judgment on them. Or we found a lien where they had a traffic ticket and they didn't pay it, and they were warned and they got summons. So there's a judgment lien filed against them in county records. And that has to be paid before you can close. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Or misdemeanor or felony charges. Tolls don't come up. I have not seen that yet. Let me rephrase that. I have not seen it yet. Anything is possible. But yes, traffic tickets, misdemeanors, DUIs, those are very popular, or drug charges, those come up, and they have to be paid because...
How about if you owe the courts money, like restitution and such?
Yes, sir, that's a lien. It's going to come up, and it's going to be paid at closing because I'm going to call the court and get a payoff, and I'm going to collect it from you.
Now, if you've got a payment plan, then you're
In full, right? As long as you're current?
As long as you're current, no. Our underwriter wants it paid off.
Okay.
Because it can become a lien against that property, and because it was filed first before your mortgage, it takes first lien position on that property.
Okay.
Your lender wants to be in first lien position. If something happens and you don't make your payments, they're going to foreclose and the home belongs to them. And they have to insure, that's why you're paying for lender's title insurance at closing, that they're in that first lien position.
Right.
Yep. Part of the process. And a side note, there is first-time home buyer money available. I did confirm with a couple of loan officers that I work with for different agencies. I've had a couple people tell me they've been told there's not any there. There is, and it can be state or it can be county level. Of course, it's usually income and household based, and you can have owned a home in at least the last 3 years. But other than that, always ask. Sometimes it's your down payment. Not that we want you to go that far. You need to have an investment in it, but it can help you with your down payment on your home. Okay. Protect your information from wire fraud. You'll be sending money via wire transfer. My company policy is I don't email wiring instructions and I don't accept them via email. And no, you can't give them to me over the phone either. If you're going to fill out one in front of me, it's going to be signed notarized, which is a requirement. My company stopped $345 billion worth of wire fraud last year.
How do you get wire fraud information? I mean, how do you get wire
Information, if they can't email it.
We have a secure portal. They go in and access,
Okay.
and that's how they can get their wire information.
Gotcha, okay.
Never, ever email. Don't take it via email. And I don't email it to anyone not associated, or I don't invite anyone not associated with the file to the portal. Don't change your marital status when you're getting ready. Don't change jobs for at least 6 months. They're going to verify your employment history for 3 years. If you change jobs, as long as it's in the same field, and you can get away with it being within 6 months, but 2 months is not going to work. Don't switch banks. Don't pay off existing accounts unless the lender asked you to, which is something Pastor Nick and Jay went over with you. Don't make any large purchases for at least 6 months before. Don't go buy a new car, 4 months before you decide to buy your home. Let's not do that. You don't want to make large deposits into your account.
Can you talk a little bit about
The down payment. So one time when I went to buy a house, I had like $100,000 under my mattress. And when I went to close, I just brought all the money. And they're like, we can't take that money because we can't. It really blew my mind away because what do you mean? Here's the money. We got to show proof. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yep.
What's it called?
Lender has to show proof and a trail of how you came to get that money.
Yeah.
The banks actually have a formula.
But what's that word called? They have a word for it, like not seasoned money. What's it called? Your money has to be, there's a word, I got to think of
We
it.
always called it seasoned.
Seasoned money, yeah.
Seasoned back whenever.
Yeah. That blew me
Yeah.
away. That you can walk into, yeah, but it really wasn't this time. I walked in with my chest out. I'm 100% legit. First time ever in my life I was legit. And they're like, you can't do that. Man, I was mad. I was. All right.
Yeah. We also can't take cash for closing, okay? Don't ever bring me cash. Yeah. We have a fiduciary responsibility not to accept cash. So everything has to be wired. Now, cashier's checks can be counterfeited. Money orders can be counterfeited. Personal checks, we stopped taking those about 8 to 10 years ago. So none of that works anymore. It has to be a wire, and it has to be seasoned, and that's why you need to prepare for this at least 6 months, because they may ask for the last year of your tax returns. It may be the last 3 months. When Leroy and I bought our home in October of last year, it was only the last 3 months, which was great. So, the Homebuyer Guide is a valuable tool for you to use during this process. Please download it, print it if you need to. Sometimes I like paper in front of me so that you can go through it. We're all still here available for you if you have questions afterwards. So you're going to have to apply for a new loan, and you can start working with your loan officer or a broker. Make sure it's a good broker. Ask for recommendations and references on that. And I gave you the protect your information. Don't share it with anybody. So along the process, Miss Karen's going to talk to you about a real estate agent and how she's going to help you. You're going to hire a home inspector. Don't close without a home inspection. Do not close without a home inspection. Okay? I wouldn't do it. And I close 30 to 40 files a month. Every single one of them have a home inspection, even whenever it's a cash deal. And these are sales from $75,000 up to $1.2 million. Don't close without a home inspection. It's going to find things you don't see. How old is your hot water heater? How old is your air conditioner?
Wiring.
Is it draining?
Yep.
How's your dishwasher doing? How's the pressure in your faucets? Are your commodes flushing? Are your windows sealing? Is there anything that could, bugs could come in if your windows aren't sealing properly? Think about it. So all those things that you don't know. What about the drain under the sink? No dripping because you don't want to get mold and mildew in there. That's a health issue. And that's another thing that's going to check. They're going to order a wind mitigation report, which is going to help you on your homeowner's insurance because it's going to check the age of your roof and make sure that it's in good repair and that it's not leaking. So all those things together, and it is something you're going to pay for up front, and it's worth every single penny. Every penny on it. So you're going to have a loan officer. That's the person that's going to guide you through the loan application process. There's going to be an appraiser who's going to come out and look at the home inside and out again, and he's going to prepare a detailed report on everything the home you want to buy has in it, and then it's going to have 3 comparables to it that compare to that home to make sure you're getting the right value, that you're not overpaying for that home. Right now, appraisals are taking a little bit longer because of the volume that we've got going on. And we do see a lot that are coming in under sales price. Sometimes it can be brought up, sometimes it can't. And then that's back to negotiation on the sales contract. You're going to have an insurance agent because you have to have homeowner's insurance on the property. That protects you and protects the lender also. They're going to look at that wind mitigation report from your home inspection, and that can save you. It saved us $500 a year on our homeowner's insurance. So it can be significant. This is one of Pastor Nick's tips when you get ready to close. Have an attorney review your documents. Jay knows a good one he can refer you to. I am not an attorney, so I can't give you real estate advice. And I recommend you have someone look at it. That's to protect you. It's the whole goal of it is to protect you. Then you're going to have an escrow and closing officer and a closing and settlement entitlement agent, which is what I do. I take the contract, order the title search, which is going to bring up any judgments, liens, anything on the home to make sure you get clear title. No one can come in and say they have an interest or a claim in the property. I've actually had one where the owner died on it, and this was 2 owners ago, but nobody found the son who was over 18 that did not sign away his interest in the property because Dad had died. So the title insurance company actually had to pay out a claim on that to satisfy him so he'd go away. And the current owners still had their clear title. So those things come up. It's a fun job. We have a home comparison chart for you. So if you're looking at multiple homes, or if you're just on the internet, Zillow, realestate.com, of course you can go to those. You'll be able to compare it on what you're looking for: bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet, how many garages does it have. And we've discussed title insurance. Sometimes there are errors in public records. If you have a common name, let me see. You wouldn't have a common name, Jay. Sorry. David Nieves would. How many of David Nieves are there out there in public records? So I may have to call and say, is this you? Okay, I need your date of birth. I need your social security number. If you ever lived at this address, do you know this person? No, I haven't. Okay, then all I have to do is get an affidavit at closing, record it, and we're done. If it's, oh, well, yeah, that's probably mine. Okay, let me call and get a payoff so we can pay it at closing. So that's money you're not expecting to have to come up with, but it has to be paid for you to close on the home. Closing day. This is where all the excitement comes in. So we're ready. You know, we've been through the process. Now we're going to close. So you're going to get a settlement statement to look over. You know how much you're going to have to bring. You're going to call me with questions. Why is it so much? So we can go over it, you know. Then you'll see why, and it's okay. We're prepared. We're ready. Bring valid ID. I've had people show up with driver's license that are expired. And I won't take it. It's not valid if it's expired. I've had the coronavirus brought this issue up. Well, we got married, but I haven't changed my name because DMV's been closed. Well, yeah, you're right. But they've been open for 3 months. Right? They've been open for 3 months, so you haven't changed it in that time? No, I haven't had time. Okay, then I need a copy of your marriage license to go with your ID so that I can make sure you're this person, and I'm going to have you sign a name affidavit to record at closing so that I can follow the trail. Temporary driver's license is not acceptable because it doesn't have a picture on it. Passport works, again, as long as it's not expired. Remember that. Closing funds are going to have to be wired. No cashier's checks, no money orders, no certified bank checks. Your hazard insurance has to be in place. And we're going to ask you all kinds of questions on how you're going to take title and all of that so we can make sure it's right for you. You've got your moving checklist. You want to make sure you update your addresses on your driver's license, your vehicle registrations. You only have 30 days to do that in the rules. And they like to follow them. If you don't, the officer can give you a ticket. So, home delivery, your utility companies, your insurance companies, you want to make sure you get all of that updated. Make sure you double check everything when you move out of the old home into the new one. You don't want to leave anything behind that you didn't mean to leave behind. And then after closing, you get your keys. My recommendation, have those locks changed or rekeyed. I closed on a condo this week in Orlando, and a young lady was buying it as her first home, and her parents had come into closing with her, and they were all excited. Well, the seller told me the day before they were talking about keys with his agent, and he said, "Oh, Joe's got a key. It'll be okay. You can go ahead and take mine." And I said, "Who's Joe?" The neighbor. So, I told mom, brother, and the homebuyer daughter, please get your locks changed today before you stay in the home. Please. Today. I said, please do it today. Exactly. So they assured me that they would, and I did share with them that the neighbor had a key. They may not have a dog. I have 2 dogs. They may not have a dog, or a gun, but let's be wise. Your utilities will be done and in your name. File for your homestead, because that does give you an exemption on your taxes. You have to do that before March 31st of the first year. You have to file for it. After that, it carries over. But it does give you a discount, sort of, on your property taxes, which means it lowers your house payment. Okay? Which means you can put that towards principal so that you can pay it off earlier. And then we have a list. There's a list of terms to know going through the process. And again, we're here for you. If you have any questions afterwards, please feel free to reach out.
Miss Alta is actually the one that put this whole document together. So thank you for that, Miss Alta. It's a lot of information, folks. That's why we gave you this document to help you. I'm just going to tell you what the Holy Spirit just told me. Miss Alta just saved somebody's life. I literally heard it there. I've never changed the locks to a house I bought, ever. Ever. If you don't learn anything else from this seminar today, when you buy a new home, before you ever stay there, change the locks. I've never heard anybody tell me that, ever. Have any of y'all? Thank you for that. Yeah, so whoever's listening to me online, if you didn't change your locks, change them. Yeah, send me somebody has a key to your house. Walk right in your house. I've never thought about that, Chip, ever. That was awesome. Second thing I want to say, I don't recommend getting an attorney at closing. I demand it. You need to get an attorney. Come here, Jay. Jay was one that didn't want to get an attorney. Come here. Yeah. No. So Jay was buying his house. He did everything Pastor said. But when it came time to buy the house, he didn't want to get an attorney. But y'all know Elizabeth. So him and Elizabeth went back and forth. And Jay finally gave in. And what happened?
So, part of what they do is they review all the documents or whatever. And what they found...
Tell them how many documents it is, Jay, first of all. At closing. It's at least 100.
It's too many to count, man. I was there.
Much less read it.
Like an hour. I'm not reading all of that. I don't think anyone reads all of that, They do.
Oh.
That's amazing to me. I am not. So, I never would have read it, but they found that the homeowners association had some sort of lien or something on the house, which we wouldn't have known, beforehand. And they were going to be charging us.
How much?
I think it was like $150 a month, and it was going to be paid off in like a year and a half. So it might have been like, $1,500, $2,000, something like that we wouldn't have been aware of, prior, and then we would have been held liable for it. So she not only went through the trouble of kind of dealing with the titling aspect of it, but then she also dealt with the homeowners association to make sure that it was all clear and taken care of prior to our closing. So, yeah.
Amen. And y'all know I don't recommend people. Miss Karen's going to come up and talk to y'all about real estate. I don't recommend Miss Karen. I don't recommend Miss Alta. I don't do that. They're members of my church. I don't recommend Jay as an investor. I use Jay as an investor. I would use Miss Alta if I was closing on a house. I'd speak to Miss Karen. I would do those things. I don't recommend people because then it's always, why didn't you recommend me or why didn't you recommend her? First of all, if somebody's in my church and I believe in them, just ask me. I'll tell you. I'm not going to recommend, but I'll tell you, I think they're great. Okay, so they're great people, or else I wouldn't have them speaking. But what I will recommend is Jay, the lawyer that Jay used. She charges $500 if you're in Orlando. And I'll give you her information. Jay will give it to you. $500, and she reads all your closing documents. $500. I mean, to me, it's the best $500 you will ever spend.